We are the stories we tell ourselves. Stories like you stupid, you an idiot, you retarded, you get on my last nerve, you little Tasmanian devil. Everything you touch, you destroy. You have no values. You're not gonna make it past 16, 19, going the path you're going. No one cares. You're not even worth it. Made me feel at times I wasn't even aboard it. These are words I heard for so many years. I felt like everybody around me should believe that. I wore them like rope chains and had them like tattoos. When I really believed. I wasted so many years trying to rewrite my story. So many years. Trying to find myself. Fight those demons. But their voices didn't get quiet until I found a way to disrupt this narrative. Let's talk about it from the beginning. I was born premature. My mom's was, while she was pregnant with me, she was sick. There's different things she was dealing with, lacking a lot of things, obviously, as a baby, growing up, and in a household where it was kind of a little bit crazy. Couldn't sleep at night. You know, all the gunshots and the people screaming and the sirens. I would go to school tired, hungry, but I felt safe at school. I got my meal. I was warm in the wintertime. I was cool in the summertime. I would fall asleep in class. And that's when that whole world of you're slow or you're retarded or you're about to mount or nothing. The whole world of special ed started. It was time to do reading and just to learn the education. Special ed students were throwing in the gym or any way they could put us as for extra, just like an extra curriculum. Just go over there and you guys do that instead of learning with the rest of the kids. But I was misunderstood. All I was doing was trying to find a place to be safe, to eat, be warm, and not worry about if a bullet's coming through the door before I could even think about learning. As a special ed student, as a young boy, I couldn't find my way. I didn't know who I really was, so I kind of followed the streets or follow, where the trouble went, because the trouble was, was moving, was making waves, but schools are overpopulated and people not really understanding at that time, probably with the way they understand it now, special ed and the different levels of special education. I got lost through the cracks, and it left me with the only alternative was to while out in school to get attention. That means just jump on a chair, maybe drop my pants, get it behind somebody, smack them, maybe touch girls inappropriate, like just whatever, to get the attention from the teachers. That's all I wanted. And I remember even asking them, will I ever learn how to read? So I've had almost no answer to that question. It was so crazy that my teacher would hold my hand on the opposite side of the desk, have the whole class line up and kick me in my butt. But they wouldn't teach me because I wanted to learn, but because I couldn't keep my hands to myself, always fighting, always an issue, a problem. That was one way that they dealt with the situation. I did have one teacher that she tried but I almost felt like I almost looked at her more like a mother. So instead of really trying to take the education part from her, because I wanted it, but I wanted more to feel the comfort of a mother's love that I didn't get. But my mother suffered from dementia, schizophrenia. Um, all I wanted was my mom to hug me. So. It was crazy because I went to school to the fifth grade. I actually graduated from the fifth grade. Uh, I thought that was cool. We had a little party and everything. So that felt good. The fifth grade was pretty dope. Then of course 6, 7, and 8. I actually graduated from the 8th grade by the grace of God, to be honest with you. And but I could say what I did develop in middle school, which middle school for me was the worst. The pressures was bananas. I can't even say everything on camera that we did in middle school, but I found wood shop, obviously gym, and art to because art we didn't have music, but art I was able to kind of like I was able to transport. I was able to bring that art into music, music into art in that class. So I thought science was okay with stabbing pigs, ripping them up, pulling the heart out, popping ears and all that. I thought that was cool. And again, at 6, 7, and 8, here I am. Now I'm growing hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get that smell like a young man. So education was still in the back of my head, but I was just trying to still find myself as a dude, who I was gonna be. And 7th, 8th grade. So I accomplished 7th, 8th grade. I had a couple of teachers in those grades that really, really thought that I was good with my hands, working on wood, and they saw the passion for me, wanted to find something to focus on. But again, only went to a certain level. I never was the fly guy, so I wasn't with that crew, and I kind of, come from a neighborhood, an era that everybody knew, so we really didn't have too much issues. We kind of started everything. But yeah, I did graduate from the 8th grade. See, I remember my little cap and gown. Got to the 9th grade. It was crazy. I went to a whole different state. About that time now, my father passed away. I was 14 years old, entering the 9th grade. Again, probably with like a 6th grade education. But when you're in that system, nobody's really care. And then on top of that, we ended up leaving New York, going to a whole different state. And I kind of got lost in that. They put me in the class. They put me in a general ed class, and I was special ed. No one even gave me a test, to see where I was. It was like, oh, you're this age, you fit the criteria to fill that chair. And I'm in the middle of a classroom when they doing math and reading and all that other crazy stuff. And I'm looking around like, yo, what is this? I'm thinking, how can I get out of here? I did find a class that was a metal shop. I think they kind of had me, had my attention for a while. But, looking for some girls here and there, trouble. Then I ran into in the 9th grade. Led me getting arrested and a whole lot of craziness in the 9th grade. So I didn't even finish the 9th grade. Dealing with the legal issues, and that's just the craziness that came with all that that I did. Then I ended up coming back to New York, supposedly be in the 10th grade. They didn't finish the 9th grade. They threw me in the 11th grade. Now I'm in 11th grade. I'm about to graduate next year. I have no clue of what's going on with any books in front of me. And once again, they put me in a general ed. I'm special ed. And they put me like with 30 kids. And now I'm lost again. So I was lost when I was in special ed because no one wanted to teach me or show us the right way. Then they put me in the class where I'm lost again because there's 29 other students that are ahead of the game. That was the 10th grade, the 11th grade. And about that time, I said, I don't know how much more I can do this because I really was lost in school. And even at that time on my school, the library caught on fire. There wasn't barely any sports. I mean, we had the Big Apple games in the summer, the little things that we did, but school wasn't it for me. I had a friend that lost his life in front of my school. After that, between all the beefs that I had in the street, I was done with school. So like I said, my dad passed when I was 14. I was my dad's sidekick. In fact, I got the name Tasmanian Devil because from a little boy I was just tearing the house apart. No matter what it was, whether it was me fighting with my siblings or just tearing things apart, man, making damage. So he took me on him. I was his little sidekick. Like he was Batman, I was the little Robin. So pretty much everywhere he went, I went. And so I was tighter with my dad than with my mom's. If you ask me today at my age, I could tell you very few memories I have with my mom's when I was younger. But my dad, I could tell a little more. So I was his sidekick. My dad was a reverend, and he felt that he had two missions. One mission was to find local talent in the Bronx, and then expand it to the other four boroughs, and have connections with them for TV and audio recording. Albums, EPs, and have a huge once a year festival. He used to call it the Star of David, and give out the awards and trophies, and pour into these artists, whether it was singer, poetry, because as we all know, even today in that field, there's not a lot of push. That's one thing he did. The other thing he did was he went overseas as a missionary pastor. And because of that, though, even though I was with him and I knew that at any minute, any time, my pops could, give me a knuckle sandwich and I'll straighten out. But because he was gone a lot. And I fiend for his attention, I fiend for his love. So, man, Pop Dukes was, he was my heart. And I wanted to be like him. Quiet dude. Didn't take no nonsense. And he loved God. But he put the ministry he had before us. So, for whatever reason, whatever card he plays cards, it's not for me to judge. That's just the way it went down. So, by the time I was 10, 11, I was already working at a local pet shop. Trying to make my own little money, my little hustle. And thank God for that, because that little hustle kept me safe a lot on these streets of the Bronx, because I would hit up some of the power heads in the street with some dog food or fish, and they let me come through their block, to get to my block, so it wasn't that easy. You just walk to any hood because you from a certain hood. But that looked out for me with that job. And I remember I was 14 when I was working. I got a phone call saying, "Yo, you need to come home. Pops had a heart attack or something like that. He's at the hospital." So I got to the crib. I see family everywhere, everybody whispering. And then I got the news that he passed away. Yeah. So 14. I thought my life was bad as a little boy till the age of 14. But I didn't know how worse it was going to get at 14. So 14, again, at that age, I done seen more than people have seen in their life. I experienced some stuff that people hadn't experienced, right? So I think I got it all together. My pops passed away. I got the news. I'm sitting in my room like, this is crazy. This can't be, right? And plans already arranged. Then we moved to a whole different state with some family. That transition happens. I get to that place, and from day one, just drama. You know, because I was hurt. I was like, God, are you serious right now? Like the one parent that had it together, he's gone. Mad that we barely had time with him. Cause, you know, no one taught me about sex. I had to learn all that on my own. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? The good thing is that one of the little things that I did learn, obviously I had that street IQ, but you know, my dad did teach us like how to wash your clothes, iron. We had to take care of that. We had to go down from the buildings and wash our clothes, go food shopping. So we knew them survival areas, but the part inside is like, you're 14 now, you're about to become a young man to a man. No one taught me that. I had to learn that on my own. And I'm in a different state. Our families took us in, and I thank God for that family. They took us in, but you know, they were struggling too. And they put us in a position where they all they could give us was their home. And when I got there, it was a junkyard. It was car parts. It was a business. So I'm coming from the hood where there's all kinds of craziness going on. I would never thought it could get worse than that. And we go there now, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they open their doors, they had nothing but love for us, but they took us in with the little bit that they had. And I now look back in, I'm like, you know, I appreciate y'all and I thank you guys. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, right? But I'm looking around like, yo, I'm in a junkyard. Well, my mom's is in the middle of the street, crying with no clothes on. And I'm trying to make ends meet so that we can have a little bit of food. That's 14. My dad's dead. But yeah, 15, already catching case. They come to the school, officers come in. It was 2 doors, I remember. It was 2 doors in the classroom. I'm in the back. They come in through the front door, with the whoop, hey man, we're looking for so and so. I heard it. They're like, yeah, he's in the back. I ran out the other door. Now I'm running, running through the school, trying to jump out. You know, I got to the front of the school, trying to cut the corner. Next thing you know, another officer, and they got me. So already just getting out there, just being a lunatic because I was, hurrying and trying to find an exit of everything that was going on. The only way I knew was to knuckle up with somebody or do something crazy to somebody. And here I am, 15, already facing the judge who told me you ain't gonna make it at 16. I could see that already. I look behind us, nobody. Cause my family, because he was a little older, so he was in a different situation. There was nobody around me. I had to face this on my own. Yeah. That's when the whole system became part of my world. Knowing now, I just had a lot of favor because things that I've done, I look back to them like I should just be getting out now. Yeah, they've never been caught for it, or not allowing me to get into that as a juvie, very heavy in the system, because I'll probably just be getting out now. Here I am. I get the message, yo, the goons have come out here to get you. They got guns. And now the pressure's on me in New York. I gotta go get my family because, those stuff don't end up right, I met up with my god sister and we brought we went back to that spot and got my family back to New York. We stayed with my god sister until we were able to get paperwork from my mom. She was like from hospital to hospital. And, you know, my other siblings are trying to make things happen where we can get our own little place and go forward. So that's how I ended up back in New York. Yeah. So in the process, I'm in New York. I got my family over and everything. But, you know, the one twist to the story there is that I met a person. I met a young lady. Before, let me back up a little bit. Before I actually left New York, I was to come back to New York. I had met a lady because I came to New York for a quick visit, and now I come from, you know, we have certain rules, certain goals, and there's certain things that we try to stay by in the street codes. And there's a certain lady that I grew up as a stamp. That's just what you're supposed to have. And this type of person, you know, is gonna love you, blase blase. I saw that person in live come around. It's like everything fit the book that I was taught as a little dude coming up. Yo, you're just the type of woman you're gonna need. And I remember I asked the dudes I was around with at that church because my brother invited me to go to church with him. I was gonna go to a house party. I was like, is there gonna be girls? Like, yeah, there's gonna be girls. Like, you sure? It's a lot of girls, man. There's another couple of churches coming together. There's gonna be girls everywhere. I get there, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm about to leave, and then I see this special lady come around, and I was just done. It caught my heart, and I'm asking these guys, like, who's this girl? Like, they're like, what's up? They're like, nah, she's wifey material. She don't get down like that. You know what I mean? I think that's where, that was when I got the first breath of fresh air that I was gonna be all right. Because something that I learned years ago, I saw in the living color. It's funny though, because before my pops passed away, he had told my aunt, with all of my siblings, how we were going to turn out to be in life. And when it came to me, well, first, he was on point with all of us. And when it was my story, my time, he said that I would be like him, but better. I didn't know what that meant when my aunt was telling me that at that time. But because all the stuff I've been through as a kid, as an adult, because I'm not gonna go too far into it, but I even caught a case as an adult married. So that stuff was always with me, right? But after that case and after that situation, a lot of the things that I saw my dad do and I grew up in with the music and like, it just started to be around me more in my head, you know what I mean? So I started like, just start writing, you know, a little album. I started writing, and I had, you know, my mother-in-law, you know, kind of was excited about some of the stuff because, you know, let's just keep it real. At that time, rap, you know, was doing this thing, and a lot of older folks didn't care for it. But you know, I just started putting, you know, things together that was in my heart, music and stuff. You know, I remember there was a little event that we did at my mother-in-law's church. I got to rap a little bit. And she was, other than my wife, you know, my mother-in-law was also my big fan on that. And she's seen, my mother-in-law seen a big change in me and different things that I was going through. She's seen a different person, and she believed in me in that. So between my mother-in-law and my wife, they kept pouring into me, and I kept, you know, believing and growing myself. And then when my mother-in-law passed away, we ended up moving. We ended up moving to another state, to just kind of grieve and start all over. At this point, I've already had two kids and one on the way. And then went to a local church, just trying to start over, everything quiet. And the area we was in, they didn't have a lot for young people. And I just kept turning around hearing bad stories, bad things, and it was just like, it's gotta be something for young people. That was urging me. Kind of said with my dad, had that urge, and it was irking him that there was nothing going on for talents for the Lord at the time, right? So he was like, something's gotta happen, right? So now all that transparent to me, now here all years later, I'm in an area, a rural area, where there's really nothing going on for kids, and I was like, we need to do something for the kids, or they're going to end up like me, if not worse. And so I started rapping, doing little shows here and there. And I asked my daughter, my oldest daughter at the time, I can't remember how she was, but I was like, hey, would you mind dancing in the background while I'm rapping? And she's like, I only got 2 moves, Dad. You know, I was like, just do the 2 moves for like 3 minutes. And I remember we had a high school gym. It was, I don't know, I think they said attendance was like 500 something kids. And I'm rapping, has a big old chain, and she's dancing in the background. And I that was like a marriage as well. You know, I looked back, she was doing a little percolator thing, and I'm just spitting, you know, and I see the kids all into it, and I was like, yo, and I remember it was filmed, and I looked back at the VCR tape, I remember watching it, and I was like, it's not enough. Why can't we get more girls up there dancing? And you know, we started trying to figure out how we're gonna do more for those kids in that community. And so at that local church, we started to work with kids, at-risk kids that were coming part of the church. My daughter was, you know, bringing kids in from her school, and it was dope. It was girls on this back on stage. Here I am doing my thing, and then I'm looking back like we need to do even more. And I wanted to do something for the boys, something that they can release their tension. For when I was growing up, was let's do boxing, and I said that may not work, that may work, I don't know, but I want to do something more with music. And then all of a sudden, boom, we started that drum line, and it became in our heart that we were more than noise and banging beats. You know, we were able to release things that these kids was going through at home. We were able to take them, do shows, and pour it into these kids that not only you're somebody that, you know, that we love and we care for you, that you're not retarded, you just have an issue right now at home and you need a way to release it. And we just kept building that and growing that for probably 20 years now. With that same young lady that I met, who's been on my side, and then God has blessed me with 5 total kids, and those 5 kids have taken that vision over that my dad had really, and grew it into where we are today now, the ATO Academy. That's what we do, helping these young people to discover who they are, so they can rewrite, rescript their story, and disrupt the narrative.